messages. Perfect. There we go. It's been a minute. How is everyone? Been trying to just stay busy and get everything done. I've got a whole whack of pedals to build today. Trying to find a new spot for you guys to hang out. This one's not so bad. We will find a good angle where you guys can see the building as it's happening. There we go. So I got a new iPhone, which is great for making videos and such. Haven't done a live stream in a little bit. My friend Jim was saying I need to do more live streams, so here we are. I know it's early in the day. Most people are at work. I hope you had a good holiday. The NAMM show was very recent. That just happened over in Anaheim, and obviously I didn't go. Someday I want to go, especially just for the networking aspect. I think that would be really great. But to kind of skip ahead, let's look at what we're going to build. So I've got a bonfire pedal to start with, and I'm going to make some new demos on quite a few pedals this weekend is kind of the goal, this weekend. And I think everyone will get a kick out of that. Just kind of seeing some updated demos and run-throughs on some classic Fuzz Imp bangers. You know, I think it's been 5 years for one. It's been the anniversary of Fuzz Imp, and I made a little video about it. I've been trying to upload to YouTube more as, you know, the social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok kind of fall off. I think that making videos is going to be paramount, and coming here and doing them here, I think, is going to be what gets it done. Hey, everybody. Feel free to drop a comment. I should be able to see them. I think I set it up correctly. And so we'll see. I believe I did it. Yes. Should have all of it. So drop any questions or comments. Thank you for coming by. For a little bit there, YouTube was really pushing out the streams to people. Hopefully you can hear me well. You should be able to. I turned off the Bluetooth, and the new phone, it works. That was one of the downsides, is broken, I think, just from dropping or damaging them from really high sound levels. And so I had all these different ways that my phone didn't work. I have a good one, my main phone that I use for everything. The microphones are down, and I'm really excited about it. At first, I wasn't that impressed, and I was kind of annoyed that it wasn't everything I hoped and dreamed. But then I found some new settings, and so as I'm taking videos, they're turning out better and better. And so, like I said, that'll mean more good videos here on the channel. If you're not familiar, I have a lot more of my social media. I do on Instagram. I also use Threads. A little bit on Facebook. Lately, it's been pretty rough over there. Sorry, I'm looking for something, but we're just gonna move this right along and steal one from right here. But yeah, we're building a bonfire to start with today. Just kind of getting the day started this morning. Got my energy drink, and we're going. In the Pacific Northwest, it's about 8:30 or so. It was when I was getting set up, so hopefully it's cool wherever you are. Oh, also on the website right now, fuzzimp.com, there's an automatic discount applied at checkout for 15% off. You don't see it until you go to the cart, but you can save a few extra bucks right now, and it'll be good. One of the cool things, and I'm going to build one here shortly, is that both pink and teal, so like the thumbnail for this video, Machina 2s, those pink are back available again. I have a handful of cases in stock. I mentioned on my longer form video, some of you may have watched it, some of you may not. There is a finite amount of Machina 2s that I will build. At least right now, it's looking like another 20 or so. So if it's something you want, don't wait too long, because I may not be able to make them moving forward just because of parts availability on the transistors I like. It's pretty forgiving to different transistors. There have been different transistors used across the various Machina 2s, but the current batch I really like, and they're really super consistent unit to unit, which has helped a lot, I think, for all the players to have that consistency, and makes it a little easier with demos. I'm kind of overdue for a Machina 2 long form demo, kind of like a new video manual. That I made one either last year or the year before. I can't remember. I'd have to look at the dates, but I made an updated Machina 2 video manual. I think I'm going to do another just to kind of help people get a better grasp on how that pedal works and even things that I've learned since. Because of the nature of the controls and just how variable and interactive it is, there's a lot of different things that you can get out of a Machina 2. And it's very settings dependent and even very responsive to both guitars and amps and kind of how it feels. So like I was playing it a bunch yesterday in the setup. We'll go check out the setup at some point before too crazy long. Gonna kind of rip through this bonfire build and then head over there to the living room and do some loud jamming, which I think could be really fun for everyone. And so hopefully you guys enjoy that. Hopefully this is a good stream in terms of quality. And if you're watching after the fact, check out fuzzimp.com. I can't pin a comment actively as I'm chatting, I don't believe. That could be like a pro feature that gets unlocked later. I have no idea. But I put a link in the description of the video. So fuzzimp.com, fuzzimp.com to see the goods. Yeah, so we've got our bonfire here. This has been a classic pedal. For those who don't know, the bonfire is based on a classic one knob fuzz that a lot of builders have done a version of. But what's special about the bonfire is it comes from the very first circuit I ever built was this one knob fuzz kit. And it sounded so stinking good. It sounded so good I had to continue. It's what made me get excited about pedal building. It's what made me do all the things. And so I do a version of it. Mine has the 2 toggles on it now. Originally there was just one toggle that kind of boosted up the bass. Now it's got multiple toggles. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. But I got some new things in the works coming eventually. There's no hard ETA. There is one thing coming really soon, which is going to be purple and green Furias. Maybe as you're watching the replay, these will be out probably next week from now. It's the end of January right now. I think it's the 29th or something. And so I think this next one is going to be a purple and green Furia. It's a really cool colorway over a hammered purple case. As time goes on, let me know if we still have audio. If you can't hear the audio, please drop a comment. I got a phone call as I was streaming, so hopefully that didn't screw it all up. If it does, I'll restart it. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Man, Instagram live streams used to be so poppin'. I don't like the new feature that they did where they kind of like block people from seeing it. So now you don't see the live stream until you click on it, and I think it just doesn't get as many views. But anyway, it's hard as a company to know what platforms to lean into, right? My demographic tends to be around my age and older. And it's like I don't see a lot of the people who buy the kinds of pedals that I make using TikTok, but I made an effort there mildly. But now it seems like everyone's trying to get away from TikTok after the Oracle acquisition. And in general, I've never really gelled with the app. I got into it really early on, like before I was doing anything substantial and making little, lip sync videos or whatever. And yeah, it just was not, it's not the app for me. So no real loss there as people transition away from it. But anyway, fuzz pedals. So one of the biggest things I see happening with people and fuzz pedals Like the other day, yeah, I do analog pedals. That's cool that you're using the Daisy platform. I've heard good things about it. And that's a whole conversation in and of itself, right? So like I make fuzz pedals. I know that that's what a lot of companies are going into for digital stuff. It's because what I know at a pretty deep level. I've used a lot of. I'm not opposed to modelers or VSTs, especially. In fact, one of the reasons that I'm not as into pedal-based digital pedals is because I feel like the VST like plugins are so strong in terms of functionality and like depth that like guitar pedals don't necessarily do as well. Now that being said, there's a lot of reasons why you would want, glitchy and ambient effects in pedal form. Like there's a lot of upside to it too. But at least for me, that's not something I'm super passionate about currently. I think there could come a day when I get into that. Like people have asked for reverbs and choruses and things like that. And it's like I do like those effects, but I don't feel like my version of the pedal versions of those things are necessarily going to be all that interesting or game changing compared to what other people do versus with the fuzz and drive pedals I feel really strongly about um, what I do. But yeah, oh for sure, that's awesome that you're doing pedal development. If you have any questions about like the financial side or the building side or anything like that, drop a comment for sure. Yeah, and that's job security. The comment being, Fuzz, you can't really do digitally. There are some like cool drive things you can do digitally, especially like amp modeling and things. But yeah, the Fuzz, just whatever it is about transistor abuse in pedal form, it is very difficult to replicate digitally. A lot of companies have tried, and there's a handful of products that have come out that are pretty cool. Notable being something like the WMD Geiger counter is a really cool version of that, I would say. For those watching, don't worry, we're going to get to doing some fun stuff here in about 2 seconds. I'm just double checking that everything is good. And we're going to go plug this in on the big rig and rip some riffs for a second. I think that'll be a little more interesting for you guys. Kind of as I build stuff, I'm going to go and play and talk about it a bit, and we'll do that. But yeah, Geiger counter is really cool, but that's like bit crushing and wave folding and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of like traditional fuzz, there's just so many different things that happen when you kind of push a transistor to its extremes. And for whatever reason, thankfully, digital stuff is not very good at it yet. I did think the Line 6 stomp box modeling was quite good the last time I used it. So I had a Helix 4. I think that stuff sounded really good. But yeah, we're going to take this bonfire, go plug it in and play it on the big rig. Normally I use the test setup under the bench, but all my test stuff, my cables and power, are in here from when I was doing demos. So let's get some lights on. So yeah, we're just going to throw this on the floor. And the video I shot a short of this. I'm going to shoot another video soon. This is the Machina 2. This is my personal one. It's got some mod toggles that don't really do all that much. No plans to release a version of this. I was just trying some different values in some different spots. But as it ended up, these toggles really, in the stock positions, sounded better. I was just trying some ideas. But it happens to be my only personal one at the moment. So anyway, we're going to... Oh, here, I guess we can do this. Hopefully I can do this with my hands. So we're going to plug this bonfire in. Really killer pedal. Not very expensive. Really good sounds and really powerful pedals. So we're gonna rock this one for a second. Here, I might have to set you down. Let's set you down there just for a second. Then we're going to be going into the PV Bandit and playing the well, the LED lights up, so that's already a first good step. We'll turn on there it is. I've got one of those ring light deals. Put you on the little stand. There we go. Hi. Got the PV Bandit over here. Nice, loud, clean pedal platform of an amp. And then this is my main guitar right now. PV Bandit, yeah, it's so good. I could make a video about it if you guys want some time. But yeah, this is in C standard. It has a Hoxie aluminum neck, so it's all aluminum construction. But check this out. So we're gonna test this bonfire. Hopefully it sounds good. At least. Let's kick on some space echo delay. Which is slightly less gain, slightly less bass. Just the clean. So it's a space echo, so it's got like the step pattern. So yeah, that's a bonfire pedal. Hopefully you guys like it. I'm gonna make a video a little bit later today and kind of show off its different sounds. It's really not a very complicated pedal, right? It's only got the two knobs, or the one knob and the two toggles rather. Like I was saying in that last bit, It's kind of playing with both toggles up. It sounds really good with both toggles down. It's kind of the thickest, doomiest version of the sound. So, yeah. Yeah, the PV Bandits are so good. Also, I was using the Line 6 DL4 here. You can see that's my old Bandit. It sounds so good. I use it for everything. It's really quite loud and powerful. I think the volume's on about 2 right now, and it's working really good. But yeah. And then you've got Longfire here. So the one knob is volume / gain. It kind of reacts both ways. And so it's super cool. Definitely recommend. Got your big old green LED. It's not a Baz Fuzz. It's more color sound. I think it's called a color sound power fuzz or something. But yeah, it's a 70s design. It's basically a fuzz face, but the one knob kind of controls volume and gain simultaneously. It's a 2-transistor design. We're going to go turn this off. But we're going to go to the garage and build another pedal, take it out, jam it. I don't have, the other ones aren't as prepped. So like that one was basically prepped. So we'll hang out in here for a bit. Does it run at 18 volt? It can. Let's see. This one can. So this is the thing about Fuzz Imp and power stuff. Assume always 9 volt only. But this particular one, because of how the power is set up and the switching is set up, I believe you can run at 18 volt. So let's just try it. If I break it, I can always build a new one. I don't super recommend using 18 volt unless it says there's Amities and Furias can run at 18 volt. I don't super recommend it. But let's see. So you can see here, plugging into 18 volt. I know for sure it can handle 12 and 15 here. I got to set you down for a minute. Sorry. So it's plugged into 18. Just making sure. Yeah, let's plug it back in. It actually probably sounds tighter and thicker. I've tested most of them. So like the Drat can run at 18 volts. I wouldn't run Machina 2 at 18 volt personally, but there's definitely a few that can. Always double check either with the manual or with me before you run too high a voltage. What did I do with my guitar pick? That's what I'm reaching for. Oh, here's one. All right. But yeah, we'll play it at 18 volt. Well, let's see. It actually probably sounds good. Sounds cool. It works. Didn't break it. Like I said though, always double check. There's a bunch of them. The ones that all have soft switching can't work on 18 volt. So it's definitely not something I recommend. Usually now with all the newer ones, I have a little thing that says what voltages you can use, but that one in particular is one of the handful that can run on 18 volt. But it'll break or just won't work on a bunch of them. So like Obtainium Creature, Adventure, Sender 5. I think that's all. Echo Moon, definitely don't run 18 volt. So there's a bunch that it'll either break it or it just will not let power go to it because it has a power protection circuit. So at your own risk, braking protocol. But like I said, Drat, Bongfire, maybe Machina 2, but I wouldn't recommend it, like I said, because the transistors are already working so hard and it's a lot of voltage going to the caps. But it's probably fine on that one. Okay, what's up next? We will build a Echo Moon. So one of the things about Echo Moon and the chips that I get is I have to socket them because there's a quirk with PT2399 chips, which is a delay chip. They are very sensitive and fragile, and so not work the first time, but I have extra chips in case it doesn't. Even buying from the best supplier I know of, there's still just a handful that don't seem to, not always will to work very well. But yeah. Somebody just snagged a pedal. Thank you. But yeah, so I'm going to build an Echo Moon and going to build Furia, which is really super cool. Furia is probably my favorite distortion pedal in the lineup currently. It's based off of an HM2, but it's a little more mild and modern and subtle. And then it has these two toggles that are really cool, especially at more extreme settings. So Furia is really cool. This is the one that's going to come out in hammered purple with green as well. I believe I still have hammered copper. I think I have one left. But yeah, there's not a lot of the hammered versions of Furia, except the blue ones are on order, and those are coming with the purple ones, so those will be really cool, and you guys can use those. So those are coming, so that is a thing. Well, this is fun. I hope you guys are all having fun. And chit chat. It makes the day, makes the build sessions a lot more fun because it makes it feel like it's not just me. But yeah, if you have any more questions about the pedals or anything, let me know. And I'm gonna keep soldering away. Like I said, with the PT chips, it's one of the few chips I socket so that they can be swapped out. But it's very rare for them to fail in the field. Usually they just won't work right out of the gate. The one downside of doing builds fresh as I'm doing it, but that's why I playtest every single thing. And it's like, if you got a pedal from me, I sat there and I played it and messed around with it for a bit before I shipped it. So yeah, and Bongfire cases are coming. That was my last one right now, but the ones should be coming either probably next week at this point. But yeah, my guy's working on printing them right now. I'm really excited about those purple ones. I might text him here in a second and say, hey, before you box those up, can you take a picture of the purple ones and let me see how they did, how they turned out? Because I'm pretty excited. And then also on the list, I don't know if I'll do it on stream or not. It's kind of a longer build, but I've got the teal. I don't know if I busted this out already. The teal Machina 2. Might do this live on stream, might not. It just depends how I'm feeling. With the longer streams, sometimes I kind of fizzle out and need to switch back to having ultimate focus. So we'll see. But for sure, we'll do this one and Furia, and then we'll go play test those, and then we'll come back and build the Machina 2 probably. Machina 2 is kind of the labor of love, and so like I said in my most recent video, if you didn't see it, the last one I uploaded, is Machina 2 was the best seller of last year, which is not super surprising to me. That's why I make it in so many different colors, and you know, some players will even collect multiple Machina 2s in different colors. If it's your second or third Machina 2, let me know, and I'll make some small tweaks to the circuit so that they all sound different, but not very many people buy a bunch of the same pedal in different colors. But I get the appeal of doing it. I know Earthquaker has, like, there's a guy that was collecting every special edition and every color of the Plumes Overdrive from Earthquaker. And I was like, I get it. I know the vibes. I have some of that in me too. But I think they made it in like 20 different colorways or something. It's a lot. Now, Echo Moon is an interesting one. This is the one we're building right now. We are building it because you're with me and I'm with you, and we're having a blast. It's a collaborative effort. You guys are fueling me. I am fueling the world with guitar pedals. So the reason the Echo Moon is the only like ambient pedal in the lineup is because of the chip that I'm using and the way that it works. I mean, there's all different ways you can use it, but it's pretty easy to work with so long as you kind of like the sound that it makes. But anyway, the whole I wasn't going to do one for a long time because when I got the original prototype for a different pedal, it was actually a Shroot 2 and a version of this delay circuit. I didn't really care for the delay part. It was noisy. It didn't have a lot of volume. It was kind of thin sounding. So I put it on the shelf. I had this prototype. And I had the problems with the chips because I didn't know where to source them from and didn't know that they're super sensitive, etc. Anyway, so long story short, I shelved this prototype of Echo Moon, or what became Echo Moon. It was like a dual pedal at the time. It's called the Sleeper. There's only like 3 out there, maybe 2 out there that are working, something like that. It's not very many. One sec, I gotta grab a pot. Some of the really low usage, like this pot I only use for this pedal, so it's in a special part of the shop for the volume. So what I found when I re-investigated the prototype is that if I changed the boost part of the circuit to a much bigger pot and played around with this other filter, I could get this really cool sound where it's kind of overdriving the op amp that is the output for the chip in the circuit. And so what ended up happening is you get this kind of different version of saturation, kind of in the same way old school players used to run an Echoplex. It's not the exact same circuit, but they liked the kind of the drive circuit of the Echoplex that was used to kind of push it over the top. And so that's kind of what the Echo Moon is going for, is that, and it sounds like, to me, cassette tape saturation. Just the way it sounds like an old cassette deck, the way it would kind of distort a little bit, the way it's saturated. And so that's why I talk about I forget what I say in my saturated analog delay, or I say something on the website. Saturated delay, I think is all I say. But it sounds like a distorting cassette tape. And so that's where the name comes from. Not like a tape machine, not like a real tape echo, but like an actual tape, like we used to record songs off the radio on and drive around in our cars. Yeah, so it's got some of that. A lot of that came from those old stereos and stuff, had op amps in them that were kind of, when you would push them to the limit, you would get that little bit of crunch. So that's kind of what happens with the Echo Moon, is as you crank it up and push it, you get a little bit of crunch. And in fact, for those who have been watching for a while and are continuing to watch, I'm going to build this, go play test it, come back, build the next pedal. And we'll see how long it goes. Feel free to pop in and pop out. Check out fuzzimp.com, fuzzimp.com, and save some bucks. Yeah, no, it's not actually an Echoplex circuit. That would be cool. But the drive circuit, the way it works, is kind of works on the same principle. You know, speaking of Echoplex, did anyone else just watch, now that it's on Hulu, the Bruce Springsteen biopic with Jeremy Allen White, I think is his name. Yeah, from Shameless. Not a bad movie. Not what I was expecting at all. I don't know that much about Bruce Springsteen and his career, but there's this whole segment where he's taking a reel-to-reel tape recorder 4-track, and then he's running it into the Echoplex, like a real Echoplex, for the, like, kind of slap back a little bit of saturation into a tape deck, like into a, and it was this whole thing. And yeah, it sounded good. I get what he was going for in that moment, but then they run into all these issues. I'm not giving away too many spoilers, but they run into all these issues trying to translate that sound later in the thing, and they're whining about it. But cassette saturation is really cool, and that was kind of the point of that. But shout out Echoplexes. The thing about actual tape delays is that they're kind of maintenance heavy and kind of break down a lot. There's a lot of moving parts, literally, like a lot of moving parts in a real tape machine. But the sound is pretty cool. For me, when it comes to stuff like that, I like this sound. Oh, so what was Echo Moon made for? So when I cranked up the boost and used the delay, it sounded like old Joshua Tree, the Edge, because the front end was pushing so much boost that it started to saturate the front end, even on my clean solid state amp, little Fender Frontman I was using at the time. And it had the lo-fi mode, which is kind of like a filter, and the high pass is around 700 hertz, which sounds kind of like the Tube Screamer frequency. So you get this combination of like boost, saturation, delay. It's like a light Tube Screamer and a delay is on at the same time, and it sounds like old U2 recordings. And so that was kind of what made me go from taking having a prototype that I wasn't super happy with to, hey, this is something people would actually like. And one of the benefits of Echo Moon, and one of the things I like using it for, like, it's not a pristine delay. It can be pretty clean. And the full mode is now enhanced from the original version. So I added more bass back in since it's been out. But it still has a slight, just the way that you build the whole thing, it sucks just a little bit of bass out. But what I really like using Echo Moon for, because it's got that boost circuit in it, is you run it up front of the drives. Whether you've got amp distortion, it'll even work in front of fuzzes. And it's kind of a unique, specific texture. It's not for using the whole song on every style and every song. But having a delay in front of the distortion is one of the few things that I liked that was kind of hard to replicate well in my software. Just the way that an amp reacts to that sound is kind of unusual, and it has this kind of tearing texture to it. You'll hear what I mean in a minute. And for some people, it's probably not really what they're going for, but it's like there's plenty of other clean digital delays that are really easy to use that you can get from a lot of other places. This is kind of unusual, and it does have some slight, especially as you start really boosting the boost and running it into a bunch of dirt, it does by underlying character to it, like a slight noise to it. You know, there's pedals like the Gen Loss and all kinds of have this kind of the Chroma Console and stuff that are trying to emulate, you know, lo-fi textures. So that's kind of the reason the Echo Moon exists. It's like even my delay is a distortion, or a dirt pedal rather. You know, it's not a full-on distortion. It's not that much clipping, but it is very cool. I like it. So we'll get it rocking here in a minute. Also, if you were wondering, Fuzz Imp pedals are hand built. There's a lot of hand building in the process, and it's just me doing all of it. But it's fine. You know, I've been doing this for 5 years. Even if you just build 5 to 8 pedals a day, every day, it's thousands and thousands of them over time. And in the early days, I actually was a lot busier as kind of getting the word out there and running a lot of ads. And so I would have to build 8 or 9 a day, which is what I started doing. And it ended up being fine. It worked out well, but yeah, that was kind of the method back then. So anyway. But yeah, 8 a day, every day. And then, it's a couple hundred in a month. And I've had to build more than that in the past every once in a while, but not in a while. But that's what makes every single one special, right? Like you buy from a bigger company, not like a boutique company. I'm talking about, the ones that sell at Guitar Center and stuff, the ones that are at the big box retailers or the Amazon pedals or whatever. It's like, it's fantastic that we can get consistent mass manufactured pedals, but at the same time and attention and care just isn't given because you just got underpaid people putting together all the pedals. There's no love. You got to make it with love and intention. It's important. But anyway, we are going to finish soldering this in a minute. And then we'll go play test it, and I'll explain a little bit of the fun quirks of the Echo Moon. But I like it. It's a real specific thing, and it works better in front of fuzzes than my DL4 does. The thing is like I bought that Line 6 DL4 to be reverb and delay, just kind of a placeholder, so I don't buy a bunch of pedals I don't need, because I already have Echo Moon and I have plugins. Because a lot of times, like I haven't been doing as many lately, but when I do my actual recordings, what I've been liking lately is I'll use like my Bandit or use a fake amp or whatever, and then I'll add plugins for extra reverbs, extra delays, extra filtering after the fact, because it's kind of a different version of the texture. Now, all that being said, I know I just said a lot of things. I do want to do a reverb someday. I just don't see it as being super feasible right now. Now, if I developed a really cool algorithm and a platform to run it, then 100% I would be all about it. But there's so many companies with big budgets and really smart people doing a better job of that I'm going to focus on what I know. And it's funny because, a drive pedal with 30% the components is harder to design than a pedal with a bunch more doing all this crazy stuff digitally. So, anyway, my little soapbox. We just got to put Jackson a chip in this and go play it. But yeah, how's everybody else doing? Where are you tuning in from? Are you one of the regulars, or are you somebody newer? If you have any other questions about me, about music, about whatever, let me know. I'm kind of giving the lore on each pedal as I build it, because it seems appropriate. Actually launched Machina 2 and Drat before it to fundraise for it for the board design for my designer. A little fun lore. So I was like, well, yeah, Echo Moon, I'm going to need a decent amount of money to get this set up, so why don't I launch these other things before I do that? Oh, right on. Oh, what's up? Thanks for tuning in from Eugene. Yeah, I have some friends up from Medford recording in Portland. I was going to hang out with them, but where I live in Amity is a little off the beaten path for where they're going. It's kind of like if Portland is here, Salem in here, and Eugene is here. Where I live is like off to the side, like kind of forming a triangle between Portland and Salem. It's like about an hour from most parts of Portland, about 40 minutes from Salem, and probably about an hour and a half from Eugene. So, you know the vibes. When I first moved to the apartment that I started Fuzz Imp in, it was my first apartment on my own without roommates. It was amazing, but um, you know, I haven't had a car in a while because it saves on expenses, so I'm able to do more pedals full time. But anyway, so I'd walk everywhere, and the town is so small. You know, it's just basically a handful of blocks. But there's stores and the post office. I walk to the post office. I used to have to walk to the post office twice a day because it's such a small town. They don't typically do door service for the USPS. You have to have a PO box and go pick it up in person when they're open. But where the part that I live in now, they campaigned and got a big mailbox and they get door service, which is exceptionally rare in this town because it's so small. There's like 5 people that work at the... Yeah, exactly. You get it. I don't know what the population is. I can't remember if it's like 2,200 or 1,500 or 1,200 or something. Google could correct me on that one. Okay. This is kind of a procedure because the chip has 14 legs. They all have to be lined up pretty exactly in this socket. Bear with me for 1 second. We got it. I'm gonna leave the back off for now so I can go play test it. Like I said, these chips are kind of finicky. It's kind of a whole thing with the build process. But we'll go see. Maybe we get lucky on this one. If not, I'll swap the chip out. It's fine. For a second, I was getting these ones, and I would get this tube. I think I had 20 in it or something like that. And there was one time I got this tube of these chips. Half of them failed before they would work. So I'm pulling them out. And it almost doesn't matter. It is crazy about the pedal builders in Oregon. 100%. I've met a good few of them, not all of them. The ones that I'm not friends with online, I've met a few of the ones in person, but not all of them. Well, let's go take this in the other room and jam it for a second. So Echo Moon, like I said, interesting texture. It's kind of a specific thing, and hopefully this one works. Otherwise, we'll have to come back and play with it a little bit. But it's fine. It's fine. Okay. I'm going to set you up over here. And we're going to plug the whole rig back in. Need to make sure I unplug that 18 volt from earlier. But what we're going to do is I'm going to set this up. So Echo Moon first into Bonfire. Oh, dang it. I didn't bring a... Oh, no, I can do it. Here we go. Nah, we're gonna give you a little taste of what that is about. Leave that. Okay, I'll just plug in Echo Moon to the rig. I keep meaning to build a full pedal board. The problem is I have to do so much stuff with pedals that I haven't been able to stick to one setup long enough. I'm always tearing stuff in and out, and so yeah, it's a whole thing. Okay. Let's see if this works. Hopefully it does. But I'll do more demos on Echo Moon as well, probably for you guys sometime. Let's see. Hey, it works. Okay, so the boost is kind of set low right now. So that's all Echo Moon right there. So we're gonna crank the boost up. Which is cool, right? I like that. Here, I'm gonna turn the spring reverb on. So I've got a little spring reverb with the amp now. I'm cooking pretty good with the boost, but okay, so here's without the pedal. I'm gonna switch the Bandit drive on. What's it say? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, definitely. There's usually a coupon running. Like right now, it's an automatic one at checkout. But if you get on the mailing list, I'll email out other ones sometimes. But right now, everyone gets a coupon. You get a coupon. You get a coupon. You get a coupon for 15% off. It calculates at checkout right now. So we're on the Bandit distortion. Now I'm going to kick on the Echo Moon with a lot of boost, and it's going to start getting really interesting and chaotic. I switched it boost all the way up, and it's in the lo-fi mode, which is a little brighter. So sorry, what is it? I saw you. Hey, Thomas. Okay, there we go. Yeah. One of the things, I might have to hop off stream after I put this together. So that was Echo Moon into the Bandit. I'll do some more videos soon for you guys too. Well, I've been streaming for about an hour. I need to take care of some things. I'm seeing a bunch of messages pop up on the phones, but fuzzimp.com, fuzzimp.com. You will see the 15% added at checkout. So you have to add it to your cart, go to checkout, and you'll see the updated prices. So definitely check that out. Hopefully have a bunch of cool new demos coming for you really soon. Now that I have the new phone and things are looking better, I think it'll be really cool. And thank you to all the supporters for Fuzz Imp. I think it's been really cool having you all around here. Yeah, thank you. But I need to jump off and take care of some business. So I will catch up with you all really soon. Check me out on Instagram. Check out the website. Ask me any questions you need. And I think that'll be it for now. But thank you so much to everyone who came out. I really appreciate you.